we are with this blessing. We know that we're right at the door. We're right at the precipice, like we talked about at the beginning of the call with break on through. We are looking for a breakthrough and for us to sort of get pushed over the edge to take advantage of everything that God has for us coming up with this great blessing. I can tell you, first of all, I want to welcome everybody back in to the call, to be aware of what is going on out there, what we're learning, what we're hearing. We've got some different intel out there. Some of it is pointing toward kind of an any minute, any day now type of thing. It's all very, very positive, very good. Even what we've heard up until about the last hour before the big call tonight was very positive for us. I'll tell you this, first of all, as we go, we usually start with Iraq because we know that we've always seemingly had to wait for Iraq to reach certain thresholds, to accomplish certain things before this could be released everywhere. And that is still the case. However, I would say that we now have eclipsed the point of having to wait for Iraq. We've got a lot of interesting things that have happened in the last couple of days since our last call on last Thursday. But really, when it comes to it, what we find is, and you guys have heard it on the news already, that Iraq's fully liberated the town, the city, which is their second largest city, of Mosul. And that information, the fact that that was liberated from ISIS, and ISIS has been eradicated from there, and basically, I believe, eradicated from Iraq in general. Now, that's a very, very good thing, good sign. It's been reported today. I heard it on the news, saw it also yesterday, and we have heard that today Iraq took an extra day to celebrate their liberation, their freedom, their new start, their sovereignty, all of these things. They took another day of celebration today after like 4 or 5 days in a row of celebration. And, you know, this includes fireworks, this includes, you know, the flags and all that. What is really cool is that they did do something this morning, and that was not open the Iraqi Stock Exchange today. And you say, why is that significant? Because we believe that had the ISX been open, that their new rate for the Iraqi dinar would be visible. So they did not want that posted today because we're in this transition. We're getting ready to see this. We're getting ready to experience it over here. Our thinking is we do believe they will make the ISX open and available tomorrow, from what we understand. It should come up tomorrow, and quite possibly the new value of the Iraqi dinar should show on that site, the Iraqi Stock Exchange, if that is the case, if they do bring it up tomorrow. Okay? So that's interesting. Now, in addition, we know that yesterday our President Trump received a document from Iraq at around 3 in the afternoon Eastern Time yesterday that included a wet signature from Prime Minister Abadi. They were accepting and congratulating us on our new currency, the USN, and really acknowledging that. And that document came and then was forwarded where it needed to go. And as a result of that document that came in and with a red ink wet signature, the president also added his signature to that document, forwarded that to where it needed to go. And my understanding is that at a little after 7:30 last night, our president phoned Prime Minister Abadi in Iraq to congratulate him on the liberation of Mosul, as well as the sovereignty of Iraq and, their new status in the world, as far as their currency coming back and becoming a trading partner with the world again. So that was really big. Now, I understand Vice President Pence also made a call, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe Secretary Mnuchin also made a call, and we know that we had a total of approximately just over 700 phone calls made to Prime Minister Abadi congratulating him and Iraq on these things, on their new, essentially their sovereignty and their liberation and so on. I mean, you could add many things to that, all right, because that's huge. And I found out today something that was very interesting. President Trump is about the most famous person in the world right now, but guess who's tied for number 2? Prime Minister Abadi and Theresa May from Great Britain are tied at the second most popular people in the world right now. I think that's amazing. Now, I'm excited that Iraq is basically, guys, I think we could call them done. And I don't want to use that 4-letter D word ever again if I can avoid it. I think things are rolling around and coming to us to where, from what I understand, the Forex, let's talk about currencies. Our understanding was that Sunday night, because we haven't talked since last Thursday, but Sunday night, the Forex was populating with the rates of all the currencies around the world. They were coming in. Next thing you know, there's 13 currencies that need to be added. Then there's 9, then there's 4, then there's 3, then there's 2. And we found out that the last 2 currencies that needed to be added to the Forex were the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong. And what's interesting about that is these currencies have, I believe, been added to that, but we can't see it yet. We're not supposed to see it yet, but I believe behind the scenes, all of the currencies around the world are being traded by the banks behind the scenes. They're trying to continue to get the values of these currencies raised higher so that they get them set to the position where they want them to be before we get started, before those of us that are in this internet group get our notification to begin. I believe that's what's happening behind the scenes. I believe that's what's happened since Sunday night around midnight, when everything was supposed to come off of maintenance and get to trading. And so I think that's what's probably happening behind the scenes. We know that yesterday morning, early in the morning, Vietnam and let's see, what was the other country over there? Let's see, Indonesia and Vietnam were busy trading back and forth, not only currencies, but also commodities of gold and silver. So things are definitely moving and happening. We understand that maybe some of the bonds, even from Australia and New Zealand, have been transacting, and that the bonds are actually starting to transact across the world, possibly over in Switzerland as well. So things are moving this way, sort of the old east to west thing. I believe that is occurring, at least with bond transactions. Now, we also believe that activity is being ramped up out west. We think that we are looking for core groups to to be finalized and paid out. And then we believe the prosperity packages also are in a position to go out. Don't know if they've started today. We've heard that they might. But all of that is a precursor to us receiving the toll-free number and setting our appointments and going in for our redemption of the ZIM bonds and also our exchange of the currencies that we have. We do understand now that it's not a matter of first, second, third, fourth baskets, but rather the entire world's currencies will reset, and then hence the term global currency reset. We also understand that the Iranian rial is populated, is on the screen, and is going to be at a rate commensurate with the other currencies in the region, including Kuwait, Saudi, and Iraq. And so that because they're so close and trading partners and geographically close, that's a very positive thing, obviously, for Iran as well. So things are happening, things are moving this way. I can't tell you guys, I really thought we would have this already done by today, but we don't. Is this the week, though? We believe it is. Even though we don't have it at the time of this call, we've got enough evidence that makes it look like it's coming to us. If not within a day or so, should be by the end of the week. That's what we're hearing. I'm not trying to call it, believe it or not, but that's what I'm hearing. And I just want to pass on to you guys what I'm getting from a number of different sources. Things are pointing in a very good direction for us. I think if we just stay vigilant and stay in faith and stay positive, I think we're going to see this thing come to a beautiful end shortly. Now, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we need to talk about. Exchange-wise, I know there was one other thing. First of all, before I go too far, let me thank Pink Roses for transcribing the big call. She has done that for months and probably well over a year now. And I really appreciate the fact that she's voluntarily transcribed the call and put it out not only on TNT, but sometimes over to recaps or to other sites that like to read about the big call. And I appreciate that, Pink Roses. Thank you. I don't mention you enough, but I do appreciate that. It's a wonderful gesture that you've done for us. Thank you. I am still looking forward to receiving the 800 number or so-called toll-free number to be able to put that out. I plan to do that, very quickly. Some people have said that the 800 numbers are out already and so on. They're not out already. If they were out, you would have it already. Try not to believe some of what you read in terms of 800 numbers. All I can tell you is we understand that they are in queue. They are on a timer. When the certain exact time is reached, they will be disseminated, and I understand that I'm supposed to be one to receive those. Now, I'm honored by that, and I just want to do the right thing. And if I'm to put it out to everybody on the call, of course, I will do that on the website, the Big Call on Dinar, on Dong, and on the Zim, especially the Zim. Because it is a gold-backed bond, it does carry quite a large value, and you do have a non-NDA or non-disclosure rate available, and you have rates above that where an NDA would be utilized. So it just depends on whether you're an NDA or a non-NDA person as to which direction you might want to go. Obviously, if you have humanitarian projects like Rebuild America that we're going to do, like the Veterans Retreat Network that we're going to do. And I just heard yesterday about a veterans program called Homes for Heroes. Now, I don't know much about it. I saw it promoted on Fox as they were trying to raise some money for that. And you guys know I plan to create an entity called the Veterans Resource Network, where that's just my situation, where I'm going to try to help a number of veterans organizations that are out there. And that's one I've got stuck in my memory, Homes for Heroes, that I plan to help. There's probably a couple dozen of those organizations like that I plan to help with the Veterans Resource Network, okay, which will be doing just that, trying to find the good, reliable organizations with whatever they need to show me of their worthiness, and then boom, I'm going to help them out. So that's just one that just came to mind yesterday when I saw the piece on Fox. The other thing is, when it comes to your negotiation, let's face it, the rates are terrific. Even the so-called non-NDA rate on the Zim is fantastic. But if you want to do a little bit more or have a little bit more to work with, you can ask for a higher rate for humanitarian projects. That's what I plan to do, and you guys know why. I've got a lot that we plan to do together. So it's just something to keep in mind. I mean, banks will be doing exchanges, yes. You guys on the big call should be looking for the 800 number, the so-called toll-free number that you can call to set your appointments so that you can do your exchanges at the redemption centers, okay, and not at just the regular banks that do foreign currency exchange. The banks that do foreign currency exchange, which are all the Tier 1 banks, and I believe most of the Tier 2 banks, if not all, that have currency exchange desks, they're pretty much going to be limited to the screen rates that they have, which is fine. Those are fine. But if you do plan to ask for a privately negotiable rate, then you would want to make sure that you use the toll-free number and set your appointment for the redemption center, or what we also term as the off-site exchange centers, okay, that are going to be these other buildings that will be used for exchange and redemption of Zim. Okay? So just a heads up on that, just so that you can clarify that. Our plan, the plan for the redemption centers is to get you in and out in about an hour. So there won't be a whole lot of time for deep discussions about trusts or other structures or too much normal banking things with your wealth manager. You're going to want to set your appointment for your wealth advisor, for your wealth manager, or Abbott Downing, or whomever is there, as a follow-up appointment in the next week or so. Okay, once you have the basics and so on, you'll be able to come back and create an appointment. You'll be able to set the appointment at your initial exchange and then follow up on that in a week or so after you exchange. Okay? So just so beware, they do want to get a lot of people processed in 5 or 6 days with the 5 million that are part of the internet group. And then we believe there'll be a little break for about a week, and then the so-called John Q. Public would start with the normal banks for exchange in the banks. Okay, that's how it's been laid out to me. We'll see if that's what actually happens. But I'm excited. I'm excited about where we are. I'm excited about the movement across the world with this. Excited about the president and how involved he is in finalizing this. I'm excited for Iraq and what they're experiencing now and what they're going to get into, and everything about what's happening from the West Coast all the way across the country here. So let's just realize that you are in the right place at the right time. You have been chosen. Even the people at the redemption centers have referred to us as the COs, meaning the chosen ones. I think this is a very special time that we are in, and the expression is for such a time as this. I mean, we are experiencing the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind, and you're part of it. And so you should feel very, very good that you've been selected to be part of this, because I'm excited about everything that we're going to do together as a team, as the Big Call universe, going a nation. We're going to do that right here at home first. Banks for churches so they can help allocate on this, and they know what it is we plan to do. So I hope you're going to be part of it. We will create a new website, so just a heads up, stay tuned to the bigcall.net website. We'll put a message on there for you guys, banking tab on our website. Well, everybody consider everything that you need to do to be emotionally strong and healthy, and make sure that you give the CD downloads